Hi, Adi. Uh-oh, you're scowling again. You're going to get wrinkles all over that cute face of yours if you don't smile more.
Hello, Dorothea. I was just lost in thought. There are so many things to be done. To think of them makes my head ache sometimes. So many nobles of the Empire are utterly useless. When I am Emperor, I intend to appoint only those who can actually be useful. It doesn't matter if they're of noble or common birth.
Noble or common, eh? Can you really do that? I mean, not that I don't agree. I'd make all those nobles vanish if I could.
It's not a question of can or cannot. All that matters is doing it and doing it right. The nobility system has only been around for 1,200 years. The concept didn't exist before that.
Only 1,200 years, huh? You always say such preposterous and extraordinary things, Adi. Yet somehow you actually make it work for you. It's like you're a character from an opera.
A character from an opera? If an opera is made about my life someday, I wonder how I'll be portrayed. The revolutionary who guided the Empire to a new dawn, or the foolish ruler who took her revolution too far?
Well, that all sounds pretty violent. But either way, it would make an incredible opera. Do you figure it'd be a grand action piece full of combat and strife? Or would you prefer a somber political drama? Hail the mighty Edelgard, the red blood stains her story. Heavy as her crown may be, she will lead a soul to glory. To a brighter dawn we shall carry on. Hail Edelgard!
That's quite enough, Dorothea. I'm starting to feel more than a little embarrassed. Lovely as your voice is, let's just hope that any operatic productions about me are still a ways off. You're in high spirits today, Dorothea.
Yes, I have met someone quite charming recently. I'm hoping we can spend more time together soon.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. I wish I had some advice to offer. Alas, I do not.
Don't worry too much about it, Adi. I'd guess romance isn't really something you're interested in anyway.
I'm not completely disinterested.
Oh, yeah? Is there someone you have your eye on?
To be honest, there's nothing resembling romance in my life at present. It's not that I'm disinterested. I'm simply too busy with other endeavors. I have no time to spare for such things.
That's not surprising. You're not just any old noble after all. Anyone who has feelings for you, well, they're in for a pretty complicated life.
True, and I can't ignore the possibility that I may have to marry for political purposes. I doubt I'll ever have the opportunity for a passionate romance as long as I live.
That's no way to talk. You meet the right person and boom, you have passion to spare. Could be someone you've just met or someone you've known your whole life. There's no telling how life will go. Something could even spark between the two of us.
You and I? Now that is an entertaining thought. If such an exciting future is in store, I look forward to it.
Oh, yeah? That's awfully sweet of you, Adi. Hey, Adi, take a look at this. I received it as a gift. It was sent from... I don't remember. Anyway, the point is...
Dorothea, when you receive a gift, don't you think you should try to remember who it's from?
You're right. That's a little thoughtless of me.
What's gotten into you lately? You seem mostly uninterested in the various suitors throwing themselves at you. Is something on your mind?
Oh, don't worry about me. Everything's fine. I'm just finding it difficult to care about chasing after love as much as I used to.
Do you have any idea why?
Well, I do have an inkling.
You seem reluctant to tell me. Is it somehow my fault?
No, nothing like that. Okay, I suppose you're not completely wrong, but...
How do you mean? Please, just say what's on your mind.
When the two of us are together, talking like this, somehow I don't feel like I care about my troubles with love anymore. So it's fine.
There's nothing wrong with that, of course. But it seems we should get to the bottom of such a drastic change. Maybe we can figure it out if we just...
Adi, I'm telling you, I'm fine. If you push me any further, I'll write an opera about you. I'll do it right here and now. And then I'll sing it in your face.
Settle down, Dorothea. I can take a hint. If you insist, I'll drop the subject. Whatever you do, don't write more opera lines about me. My cheeks are probably still red from your last performance.
Well, I can't promise anything. But if I try real hard, by the time the war is over, I might just have an opera written starring you. No need to worry, though, Adi. I'll be fabulous as you. A performance they'll rave about for years.
The frightening part is that I don't know whether you're joking or not. But I do regret to inform you that you won't be playing the role of Edelgard.
Why's that?
Don't you see? No story about me would be complete without the character of Dorothea. It would be ridiculous for you to play me instead of yourself.
Adi, you really are something special, aren't you?
Completely unreasonable. How will I see to this?
Hubie, what are you doing here?
A routine matter. No cause for concern.
Ah, so it's something to do with Adi then.
And?
She really is all you ever think about, isn't she? Look, I know you're doing all this so that she'll like you, but if you go too far, she'll end up pushing you away. Maybe even hate you.
This has nothing to do with swaying Lady Edelgard's sentiments. I am simply her humble servant. I do what is in her best interest. Whether she cares for me or not is irrelevant.
It really doesn't look that way to me. I bet you'd follow any order Adi gave if you thought it would make her like you. Am I right?
Any order? What a thing to suggest. But the answer is no. I will decline any directive that I deem would not be beneficial to her.
Is that right? So, just for example, if Adi commanded you to find yourself a suitable wife, would you do it?
If it would benefit her in some way for me to marry, then yes, I would marry.
It's easy to say that now with no bridal party in sight. But if it was the day of the wedding? Nah, I don't believe that.
I don't care what you believe. My only wish is to see Lady Edelgard fulfill her ambitions. All other matters pale in comparison.
Hubie, pale in comparison? You've seen too many operas. I don't think you understand how the world works. At all.
And I don't care what you think either. I would make any sacrifice to support Lady Edelgard. It's a shame you've never experienced such devotion.
You're right. I don't have anyone like that right now. But maybe someday I will.
Then maybe someday you'll understand. Until then, we will never see eye to eye. Now, if you will excuse me, I have much to do.
Hubie, I don't get you. Although I do find your point of view just fascinating. Hey there, Hubie. I've been thinking about our conversation the other day, and I've just got to know, do you really love Adi?
If it's one or the other, I suppose it would be closer to love than to hate. Why?
I knew it! That's why you work so hard for Adi. Oh, Hubie, I finally get you. You're just another servant suffering from unrequited love for their mistress.
You completely misunderstand. Unrequited love. Do I really look like the kind of drooling simpleton to have that kind of motivation?
I'd like to say yes, but I know you just argue. Fine, Hubie, tell me your situation.
My situation is simple. I am walking a path.
Oh, do go on.
Everyone has a path in life. Lady Edelgard has shown me mine. It is just beside her own. So we walk together side by side. We stride ever forward, yielding to nothing and to no one.
So, you're sharing the same dream?
Bluntly, yes. But it's more than just a shared dream. I have many feelings toward Lady Edelgard. Gratitude, respect, awe, empathy, trust, hope.
Okay. I was teasing you, but I gotta say I'm just a little bit jealous of you and Adie. That you're able to embrace these feelings and stride forward along the same path. You're lucky, Hubie. I don't know if I'll ever get the chance to experience anything so utterly operatic.
Why not?
Because I figure the best quality in a partner would be that they make me happy. And loving another is really about wanting to be loved. I'm pretty sure that's different from how things are with you and Adie. Hubie, I've been thinking.
What's this all about now?
It's about what you said before, about your path.
You mean the path that Lady Edelgard and I walk?
I guess I don't really understand that kind of thing since I've always been focused on my own goals. But you, Adie, Professor, all of you are fighting for an ideal. That's big. It touches everyone. Then there's me, with my hands full thinking of just myself.
One person seems enough to me.
Maybe you're right.
Do you have something more to say, Dorothea? It is unlike you to seem so uncertain.
I guess so. I'm sorry, Hubie. It's just, I've been thinking a lot lately about whether Adie might command you to marry me.
What?
Perhaps Adie might command you.
No need to repeat it. I heard you quite clearly.
Like I said, my hands are full thinking of just one person. But if you and I were devoted to one another, maybe we could strive for the future you believe in. Maybe I'd finally understand your path and be able to think about more than just myself.
Seems it's my turn to not understand. Did you just propose marriage as a way to get to know me? How exactly would such an arrangement benefit me?
Oh, it'll benefit you.
Go on.
Well, this path you're walking with Adie will have one more loyal follower. Isn't that enough?
I suppose it may well be. Your contribution to our cause has been noteworthy. I've no complaints about your battle prowess either. And if you are able to walk the path as I do, that would be something very special.
So, will you consider it? This is all because of you, you know. You made me wonder what it's like to be wholly devoted to another person.
All right. I'll consider it.
Ah, Dorothea. The dining hall seems so much brighter with you here.
Ferdy, I must say you are quite adept with flattery. Please, give me some more.
Flattery? No, I was not... There you go with that attitude again. Why do you reserve such cold treatment for me and me alone? Do you hate me, Dorothea? Or have you some other reason to avoid my company?
I underestimated you. I assumed your noble upbringing had dulled your perception. But you got it right on your first try. I hate you.
Huh, I was right. Might I ask why you find me so despicable? I can scarcely guess.
Don't waste another minute thinking about it.
That will not do. I do not think you would hate a person for no reason.
Perhaps. How's this? If you can guess why, I'll let you know if you're right. The brains of us common folk are so simple, it should be pretty easy for a big shot noble to sort out.
Very well. I cannot walk away from a challenge. I have no choice but to chance a guess. You are always making fun, calling me a big shot and so forth. Perhaps you think all nobles are... No, it cannot be that simple.
Oh? What can't be that simple?
Please, will you not give me a clue?
Well, let me see. A good clue? I know. It's because you're like a bee. That ought to be enough of a clue. So long, Ferdy.
A bee? I haven't the slightest. Perhaps because I am such a diligent worker? Ah, you have arrived at just the right time. Care for one of these handmade treats?
My goodness, Ferdy. When did you become such a talented confectioner?
Oh, Dorothea, I am hardly an expert.
Nevertheless, you have managed to make some tasty-looking treats.
Well, it is the first time I have tried my hand at it. Honestly, there were several unsuccessful attempts preceding this batch. I made these pastries to solve that riddle you gave me, the reason you despise me.
Oh?
You said I was like a bee. The bee is a dutiful worker, just as I am. But the bee inherits a capacious home, with a wealth of honey. Similarly, I inherited my fortune. I did not receive it as a reward for my labor. I surmised that perhaps you'd feel differently about me if I earned something all on my own. That was my plan, to emulate your transformation from desperate pauper to successful songstress.
All on your own? Did you renounce your nobility, give away your riches?
No, I made these. I obtained all the ingredients on my own, without anyone's help.
You mean you got the sugar and the flour?
Yes. To earn the flour, I worked in the fields. To earn the sugar, I carried a merchant's wares.
Who did the cooking? You?
Naturally. I took on some extra chores in exchange for use of the kitchen at night.
I have to admit, that's impressive. Hey, it looks like you had a bit of an accident. Is your hand okay?
I burned myself a little while I was baking. Nothing to worry about.
Nonsense. That burn will scar you, know. Come on, let's get you to the infirmary.
Wait, Dorothea! You have yet to try my treats.
You should be fine now, Ferdy. Big shot nobles have to treat their bodies with care just like the rest of us.
There you go again. Noble this, noble that. Though you did say it with less disdain than usual.
Nothing gets past you. As it were, I may have reconsidered you a little.
You have reconsidered me? Finally! Just as I had hoped, we are becoming friends. Now then, I propose that we...
I only said I reconsidered a little. And you still haven't figured out why I said you're like a bee. Which is funny, because you look like a bee right now. Bye!
So, I am still a bee. A completely mystified bee. Ah, Dorothea. I am surprised to find you here. I did not think you were all that religious.
There's a lot you don't know, Ferdy. But you're right. I'd hardly call myself devout. After all, it was thanks to the goddess and her noble regime that I suffered so much as a child.
You must be quite brave to speak so coarsely in this hallowed place. But what do you mean about suffering as a child?
Do I really have to tell you? Oh, forget it. I'm sure you already know that I'm an orphan. I grew up in the alleys of Enbar, begging for coins, eating scraps, drinking from drains.
I see. I remember seeing street children around the city.
I could have died. Then the right person overheard me singing. And suddenly I was in the opera. I was a songstress. And my goodness, did the nobles like me. The people who used to spit on me and call me an urchin, they praised my voice and my beauty. A nobleman who once kicked me gave me the most gorgeous shoes. I almost asked if it was a joke.
So that is why you despise the nobility. But why do you think I am the same as them? Do you really believe that is the kind of man I am? You think I would ever treat people differently based on appearances? There is nothing noble about that.
Oh, really? You're something different? That's not how I remember things. It was the very day that I was discovered. I was in high spirits. Nothing was wrong in the world. I secretly bathed in one of the town's fountains, hoping to wash off some of the dirt from the streets. I sang the same song the opera composer overheard earlier that day. And that's when you appeared.
Me? No, it could not have been.
Don't play dumb. You glared at me, the same look I'd gotten from every other noble, then you ran off. When we met at the academy, you were a different person. All smiles and friendly words. You were like a bee, Ferdinand. A bee attracted to a flower in full bloom.
So it was you then, singing that song. Dorothea, please listen. This is a misunderstanding. When I saw you, I could not take my eyes off you. I was hypnotized. Your beautiful voice, your elegant face, droplets of water on your skin that glittered in the sun. I thought you were a water nymph.
Stop it, don't lie to me.
No, it is true. I was only a child. The vision overwhelmed me. That is why I ran. I plucked up the courage to return, but no one was there. I thought perhaps it was a dream.
Maybe I can believe you. I've wanted to ever since the day you made me those treats. I thought then that maybe you weren't like the others, but there's a lot I have to let go of, Ferdy.
Of course. I am glad we had this conversation. You know, I do not mind you thinking of me as a bee. Life as a simple drone, circling a queen. It actually sounds quite wonderful.
Don't drones keep the queen safe from other bugs? I like the sound of that.
I do believe a nap is in order.
This is lovely. Just feel that breeze.
Dorothea, whatever are you doing here?
I was thinking of relaxing here, but it looks as if someone else is lounging in my spot already. Taking a nap in public like this? Really, Lynn. The nobles look down on such behavior.
You do know I am of noble birth.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just teasing. You never do act very noble, though. Why is that?
Each person must follow their own way. This is how I prefer to live. Even if some of the more pretentious nobles like to poke fun at my ways.
Doesn't that bother you? I mean, really? It doesn't hurt your pride or anything?
What use is pride? It doesn't feed nor clothe you. It offers no warmth on a cold night.
First time I've heard a noble say something like that.
Well, most nobles are, what is the polite way to say it? Fools. Yes, they are fools. As for myself, my father is the Minister of Domestic Affairs, and he has pride enough for the both of us. For example, did you know he and the Minister of Military Affairs cannot get along, although they value each other greatly? His pride gets in the way, so he can't make amends. That is why there was discord between civil ministers and military officers in the Empire. And so pride serves no good purpose in politics either. So tell me, what use is it?
I wonder if bad blood between civil and military leaders is somewhat unavoidable. The Minister of Domestic Affairs is in charge of all civil officials, so if they just give in easily, their subordinates would lose respect, right? I get the feeling that if your pride isn't equal to the responsibility you bear, then you aren't fit to lead. Also, I happen to think pride can be quite charming.
And how necessary is charm? It just gets in the way of living your life.
If you lack charm, nobody will give you a second glance.
Right, which means more time for napping.
Lynn, you can't really believe what you're saying, can you?
How did you know Dorothea was an orphan?
I hear she buttered up some noble and he enrolled her in the academy.
She's higher ranking than us lot. Huh, how disappointing.
I suggest ignoring them.
Lynn, don't scare me like that.
You seem less scared than surprised, but that's quibbling, I suppose. As for those two gossips, unimportant. I suggest forgetting all about them and their petty words. Join me for a meal. I've been the target of a lot of gossip, and eating generally makes me feel better.
Don't pretend we're the same. If I could brush it off so easily, I would.
It doesn't seem particularly difficult. Where's the problem? Is this about your pride?
No, not even a little bit.
What then?
Lynn, please just go away. I want to be alone right now.
That's fine. But your life is your own business. It's not something that can be affected by the petty words of a stranger. Sorry. I kept talking, didn't I? I'll stop now.
Please do.
Where has it gone?
Lynn, you got a minute?
Oh, Dorothea. Are you done being alone?
Please don't say it like that. I let the gossipers get to me, and I snapped at you. Can you forgive me?
You have my forgiveness, although I remember no wrongdoing on your part.
Oh, well, thank you, I guess.
So, do you feel better?
About the gossip? Not even a little bit. I need someone to talk to, and I figure it should be you.
Oh? Okay. What is it?
About the things that those soldiers were saying. The truth is, I agree with them. As selfish as I am, I curried favor with a noble so I could enroll here. An orphan like me, here. Crazy, right? And now to be leading troops as one of the professor's generals? I'm way out of my league. I'm doing the best I can, of course, but sometimes I wonder if it's enough.
Dorothea, if I may offer a bit of advice, you have no reason to face anything you do not wish to. If the past distresses you, then just let it go. It's as simple as that.
But it's my past. You can't escape your past.
You've probably overcome a lot of tough times, haven't you? I think that's incredible, really, but why not just let go of the suffering and run away from the memories that cause you pain? I suspect you'll find it a better way of living. I know I do.
That's not living, Lynn. It's running away. If I leave my hardships behind, then all of that means nothing.
Good point. Well said. Yet, I propose ignoring your past changes nothing of who you are today. I see before me a great woman who should not be bothered by idle gossip. Even if you dropped everything and took a nap for 1,000 years, you would still be you.
What an example. I don't quite get it, but I am a bit envious of you. Still, I can't live the way you do.
At least try it. Go take a nap where a noble will see you. Give them something to talk about.
Maybe I will.
Ah, here you are.
What's up, Lynn? Come to invite me to dinner?
Well, that too, but first there is something I wish to say. I believe I previously implied that it's okay to live out your days by running away from what troubles you. And I think that I was unkind to you.
What are you talking about?
To be honest, while I try to be easygoing, I currently feel a bit uneasy about something. One of the effects of running away constantly is that eventually one runs out of places to, well, run. Because I avoid memories I find unpleasant, the number of things I avoid is forever increasing. I've never learned to deal with the pain of my past, so I can never increase my tolerance toward new pains.
And?
That's all. But there are some nights where it really worries me.
That's what you wanted to say? It'd be the same if you weren't avoiding things. You'd just be up at night wondering what was coming next. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate you showing me a glimpse of your real self for the first time.
For the first time? Each time I speak, I show my real self.
So, what about that conversation we had?
Which conversation?
When you said I was a great woman, was that true?
Of course. You have too low an opinion of yourself.
I thought you were just trying to make me feel better. I didn't really think you looked at me that way, Lynn.
Why? Is it so strange? You seemed rather happy about it at the time.
It's not weird. Okay, it's kind of weird. You're weird, Lynn. You know, I'm hungry all of a sudden. Maybe I laughed too much.
Good. I was going to invite you to dinner.
You were?
When I walked in, you asked if I'd come to invite you to dinner. I said yes, but I can't be bothered to walk into town. Shall we visit the dining hall?
What? Oh, fine. Show me this easygoing way of yours. Oh, Caspar, just who I was hoping to see. I have a tiny little request if you have time to help me.
I'm always happy to help. What can I do for you?
That is exactly what I was hoping to hear. Would you mind coming along to my room?
Your room? Okay. This isn't what I had in mind.
Come on, a big, strong guy like you. This is easy. Lift up the cabinet, please. I need to dust behind it.
There's still more to do. Why do you care so much about keeping this place clean? It's just a dorm room.
Leaving this place a mess wouldn't be fair to the next person who's assigned here. In fact, I think once we're done with this room, we should clean up your room as well.
Yeah, I don't think so. I have some actual training to do.
Oh, come to think of it, I have a date myself. The fella I'm seeing has quite a charming face, rich family, and I assume a tolerable personality.
Don't you get tired of spending time with all these guys who have tolerable personalities?
Oh, it gets tedious at times. You must listen to them talk, for one thing. But it's important for my future.
That's how I see my training. I guess it's pretty much the same thing.
I don't know if that's a comparison you really want to make.
Why not? Seems about right to me. Sure, I'm a noble, but I'm also a second son. I don't have anything coming to me. Why do you think I'm always training so much? I need to prove myself on the battlefield if I plan on making it anywhere in this world. I know you don't have noble status or wealth, so you're putting in the effort to marry well, right? See? Pretty much the same thing.
I suppose. It would be nice if everyone saw it that way. Well then, Caspar, I need to get ready for my date. But shall we both agree to work hard for our futures?
Absolutely. I just hope our efforts are worth it. Hey, Dorothea, something's been bothering me. I kind of feel like you act more casually around me than you do with other people.
Casually? I don't know what you mean.
I just feel like you're always asking me to do things that might make other people uncomfortable. Like when you asked me to clean your room. You're not very flirty toward me like you are with the other guys. You seem weirdly comfortable around me.
You pay more attention than I would have thought. Hey, are you interested in me? You know, interested.
What? No, it just seemed weird, and I was curious.
I'm kidding. It's true that I do find you quite a convenient little helper at times. It's like you're... how to put it? You're like a little brother to me.
Really? That's not exactly a compliment.
No, but it's true. And now that I've thought about it, I like the whole idea. Why don't you try calling me Big Sis and see how it feels?
No, that's not gonna happen.
Why not?
I'm embarrassed just thinking about it.
Oh, come on. It's just a goof. You can manage it at least once, can't you? Please? Oh, I know. If you do it, I'll stop using you for my chores. How's that sound?
That's an enticing offer. Fine. Once. Big sis.
Well done, Caspar. You're such a cute little boy. I'm proud to have you as a sibling.
I'm not cute, and I'm not little. How would you feel if I made you call me Big Bro?
Oh? Well, I wouldn't mind that at all. Big bro. Is something wrong, big bro?
Oh, this is the worst.
Hey, Caspar, care to join me for tea?
Again? Well, let's make it quick. I gotta get some training in eventually.
More training? Don't you get tired of it?
No, I don't get tired of working toward my goals, unlike you.
Me? What do you mean?
Your quest for the perfect husband. I haven't seen you wasting time with any dull-looking guys lately.
Oh, that. Maybe I just found something worth staying in for.
You mean in the monastery? This place is a dump compared to what it was 5 years ago.
That's not what I'm talking about. Honestly, Caspar, you don't understand women at all.
Well, excuse me. Maybe I'm just another dull guy.
That must be why you don't pick up on how I feel.
What?
When I'm around you, I feel like, well, like I can always be myself. I don't need to act differently or flirt or lie. I can just be me. I always said you were little brother material, but when we're alone like this, the idea of marriage...
Nope. Hold it right there. I'm gonna need a minute. I was not ready for this.
Caspar, settle. You might be getting the wrong idea. I was only saying, when I'm with you like this, I can forget all about marriage and just be friends.
Huh? Right. Of course.
Though I suppose relationships like that can also lead to marriage.
Now I know you're messing with me.
I'm not trying to tease. I was just thinking out loud. If neither of us ever find our special someone, it might not be so bad to settle down and spend the rest of our lives together. What do you think?
I haven't really thought about that. I'm not really the romance type. Spending the rest of my life with you doesn't sound so bad, though. But why are we even talking about this? There's no way you won't find someone great.
Stranger things have happened.
Either way, no point in worrying about it now. I'm plenty happy with our current situation. Let's just focus on staying good friends.
Good idea. Here's to us. It's peaceful here. Flowers are so calming. Just looking at these, it's like all the terrible parts of the day just disappear. If only people could be more like flowers. What's Bern doing? She looks like there's something wrong. All these nobles are just terrifying. And the commoners? Just look at Dorothea. So pretty, popular, dazzling. There's no way someone like me could ever be close with someone like that. Bern, are you okay? Do you hear all that? Just the part about you wishing you could get along with someone. So, Bern, who have you got a crush on? Seriously now, you have to tell me. Who are they? Do I know them? I'm so excited for you, Bern.
No. I was actually thinking about being friends with you.
Me? I thought we already were friends.
That's not what I mean. Oh, I'm such a coward. I thought it would be great if we could be closer. But old memories just get in the way for me.
Bern, whatever happened in the past, you know you have my full support. I'm here for you. I thought we'd already been friends for a long time now. Please.
Just forget it. We'll never be close friends. Father would just... He would just... No!
Wait, Father? What did she mean by that? Hello, Bern.
Oh no, what did I do this time? Did I offend you? Is this your revenge?
No, not at all. I just want to talk.
If you promise not to resort to violence, I'll do whatever you want.
Bern, I've just been worried about you, that's all. When I said I was your friend, you ran away, saying something about your father. Remember?
Vaguely?
I know you've lived through some bad times. If you could tell me about it, maybe I could help?
Oh, I don't know.
Please. Your father's not here now. Whatever it is, you're safe to tell me.
All right. My parents told me never to befriend a commoner. They said commoners are scum, and that they'd crush any that tried to come near me.
Hang on, scum? They called me, commoners. They called us scum?
Yeah, but once, a long time ago, I did secretly make friends with one. A boy. When my father found out about him, he disappeared the very next day. I heard he was found beaten half to death. I never saw him again. Since then, I've been terrified of making friends with anyone, commoners especially.
I never knew that kind of thing really happened. You hear stories, sure, but... Oh, Bern, I'm so sorry. I'm proud to be your commoner friend.
Dorothea!
Hey now, relax. There's nothing to bawl about. If your dad tried to beat me up, I'd return the favor and then some.
Return the favor?
When I was in the opera, you better believe I had run-ins with the most wicked, terrible men. I survived kidnappings, attempted murders, all kinds of stuff. But you know what? I broke those guys' arms. Snap! It was a thank you for all the trouble they went through trying to hurt me.
You're incredible, Dorothea.
So, now that you know I can defend myself, can we be friends, Bern?
All right. Yeah.
How are you, Petra? You're not finding anything difficult, right? You seem to have settled right in.
I am settled. Everyone shows great kindness.
I'm glad to hear it. I was so surprised when you first arrived. A princess all the way from Brigid.
You have my gratitude. But please do not call me princess. You are making my cheeks blush.
There's nothing to blush about. You're every little girl's dream of what a princess should be. Anyhow, I suppose it's been a long time since you've been back to Brigid, hasn't it? I hope you aren't homesick. Maybe we can cook one of your favorite dishes from back home.
I do wish for that. But there is no possibility. The ingredients are not found here.
I suppose you're right. That's probably why they don't cook the food of Brigid in the dining hall. I'm sorry. I just got to thinking about how hard it must be to live somewhere so far away from home and... No, it can't be impossible. I'll fix you a real meal of Bridget. I'll just find a recipe and similar ingredients.
Wait, Dorothea. It is the thinking that counts. But your cooking is... what is the word? Horrendous. That is what everyone is saying anyway.
Horrendous? Nobody's cooking can be that bad.
The thinking is enough for me. You have my biggest gratitude.
Fine, I'll do something instead of cooking for you. I just want to be sure that you feel at home here. How about a massage? That may help you loosen up.
I have no problems. My body is already able to relax.
Oh? Then perhaps I could sing you lullabies to help you sleep.
I'm not having sleeping trouble.
Just know that you never have to worry about putting me out. I like helping my friends. Well then, I must be going, but remember my offer.
Dorothea, it's filling my heart full. Dorothea, I want to be asking you a question.
Oh, please do.
Why have you come to Garreg Mach? Is your goal different from the rest?
Yes, I suppose. Everyone here is an heir or an heiress, but not me. I'm just a commoner. When I enrolled in the Officers' Academy, I was different than everyone else. I wanted to secure my future, and my big idea was to marry money. Ever since, I've been dating different, terribly well-to-do men, searching for a good one. So far, there's been no reason for a second date.
Marrying money? That is not sounding like a good idea. Money would be a bad husband.
Pretty much.
But you treat me well. I have so much gratitude. Why do you show me such friendliness when I am not money?
Oh, no, Petra. This isn't like that. I like spending time with friends. It's wonderful being friends with you, and I hope we can stay close for a long time to come.
Yes, I have that hope too. But I have also been thinking of who is good for me.
Oh, I see.
And still I am thinking we should be friends.
Oh, I know why. Because we're both trouble for Imperial nobility.
Yes, we both have troubles.
Feels nice, doesn't it? Knowing that together we can irritate that many people. Since we've already got a lot in common, let's get to know each other better, shall we? Oh, Petra, are you researching something?
Yes, I am investigating useful fighting techniques.
You're always trying to become a better fighter. Personally, I'm sick of all the battles.
You are feeling sick about battle? Oh, I understand. Yes, I am also wishing for this war to finish quickly.
Sooner the better. I don't even remember the last time I washed my hair.
Yes, it is hard to be braiding your hair when it is damaged from lack of care.
Speaking of, I don't think I've seen many braids like yours, Petra. I assume it's a hairstyle from Bridget? May I take a closer look?
You may. This style of braiding has been passed down through my family.
How very elaborate. That must take a long time to do.
Your words are delighting me. Braiding it does take up a great amount of time every day.
Every day? Now I suppose you couldn't sleep with your hair like that, could you? When there's time, do you think you could teach me? It would be fun to match you every now and then. And once I learn how, I can help you with your hair. What do you think?
I am really liking that idea. It would give me great happiness to have our hair match.
I'd like it too.
Dorothea, before I had confusion. I thought you were being overly familiar, but then I gained understanding. Now I am knowing that is how you show your kindness, and I have much gratitude for that. It is impossible to be imagining life without you. You are precious to me.
Petra, what a lovely thing to say. I might just cry.
If you will be crying, you can have my shoulder. For your crying.
Oh, I was just playing around. But if I ever do need a good cry, I do hope you'll lend me your shoulder.
My shoulder will always be available for you.
Oh, yeah? So I don't even need to make a reservation or anything?
A reservation? For my shoulder?
Oh, I just meant... You know what? It doesn't matter. What matters is that I enjoy spending time with you. It makes me stop worrying about marriage and status.
If that is the truth, then will you be coming to Bridget with me?
Huh?
When this war is finished, I am wishing for you to be seeing my homeland.
You are? Oh my. I'd love to, Petra. As soon as the fighting is done, I'd like nothing more than to see Bridget with you. Felix, my goodness, I swear you're always training. Such a hard worker. So strong. Hello? Felix?
What?
You can hear me. That's good. I was worried maybe your ears didn't work.
What do you want?
Oh, nothing. Nothing in particular, I mean. But now that I'm here, and now that you've asked, when you finished up, do you think you'd like to join me in the dining hall for something sweet?
I'll pass. I don't like sweets. Also, you're a nuisance. Stay away from me.
Felix, that's rude. I thought we were on the same side in this war. Anyway, you sound like you're shooing away a stray cat.
Shh, shut up.
I am not a stray cat, Felix, and I am not leaving until you take a moment to chat with me.
You are a pest. Fine, do what you will.
Oh, you better believe I am going to keep doing exactly what I will. Maybe instead of a sweet treat, we can get something spicy. Would you like that? I've heard the dining hall is serving a dish with some Western spices in it. Does that sound good, Felix? Would you like something spicy instead of sweet?
You're distracting me. When I am hungry, I will eat. Alone. Stop squawking at me.
Well, since you asked so nicely, I'll leave you in peace. Goodbye, Felix.
Finally. You're following me. Stop.
I am leaving you alone, just as you asked. I may be walking the same way as you, but...
What do you want?
You've made it abundantly clear I'm not to want anything from you, including politeness.
I heard a rumor that you're planning to settle down with a noble. I abandoned my family, so you'll have to look elsewhere. Not much to gain from marrying me.
I just find you interesting is all. Is that so odd?
Interesting? I'm not interesting. What do you mean?
I've never met a noble so... unsociable. Yes, that's the word, unsociable. Other nobles are quick to be friends, even if it's just because they might gain something from it.
The Empire's nobility, maybe. The Kingdom's nobility is a whole different animal.
If they are, so what? You should care how others think of you.
Why? I don't answer to them. All that matters is improving my skill. I'll prove my worth on the battlefield. Those people care so much about appearances they can't even see each other. It makes me sick.
Oh, I agree. What's important isn't how someone looks, it's their true nature. I don't pretend to know your true nature. I don't even have a very good understanding of my own. But I suppose you see mine just fine, don't you? Just a silly girl with no thoughts in her head except for marrying a noble. Yes? Goodbye, Felix.
You, get over here.
Get over here? How about I tell you to get out of here?
You're always following me around. At least make yourself useful. Let's spar.
What? Are you serious?
I don't joke. Draw your weapon, unless you intend to fight without one.
If you want to train, then do it on your own.
If you don't attack first, I will.
Okay. If you want me to knock some sense into you, who am I to say no?
For someone whose only aspiration is marriage, you're pretty strong.
Is this your attempt at flattery? Oh, it is, isn't it? When I was in the opera, I always trained for self-defense. Couldn't really get by without it. Nowadays, if you can't use a sword, then you're just in the way.
Perhaps I had you all wrong. I thought you were just a frivolous girl who cared only for men of status. On the contrary, you seem well aware of the realities of the world. I respect that.
Yeah, all right. I'm beat. I'm going to go sit down and relax with a cup of tea. You'll join me, naturally.
I will.
We just trained together. Are you really going to turn me down?
Just this once.
Good. Let's go for tea. While we're at it, shall you treat me to a meal?
Don't get carried away.
No, you're no fun. So, Felix, is the tea to your liking?
It is.
It's nice to relax like this every now and then, isn't it?
It is.
You said some of your equipment is damaged, didn't you?
It is.
Are you not in the mood to talk? We could discuss your family or what's happening in high society. Flavors of tea? Your favorite jokes?
None of those. I already told you, I don't joke.
Of course, only cynicism. Oh, I know. We're holding a small opera in the cathedral soon. I'll be singing too. If you're interested in... but of course you aren't.
You can sing?
I'm sorry. What did you just say? Can I sing? I was only a diva of the Middle Front Opera Company, that's all.
Oh, right. I forgot.
You forgot. Am I that uninteresting to you? What must you think of me?
You're insincere and loud, is what I think. But you do make a good sparring partner. And a good tea companion.
Oh.
Anyway, when's the concert?
It's an opera, and you don't have to come.
You just invited me. You can't tell me not to come. That's for me to decide.
Oh, then you must be there. I'll sing my heart out just for you.
I haven't said I'll go.
Are you going to come or not? If you keep teasing me, I might just pretend to cry.
Fine, I'll go.
Fantastic. I look forward to it. Sylvain, it's unusual to find you doing something other than hitting on women.
Ah, Dorothea. I've been preparing to do just that, as it were. My intention is to flirt with the monastery's most beautiful flower, Dorothea herself.
Oh dear, and I've ruined all your hard work. You might as well save the effort. I'm not taking the bait.
Oh, Dorothea, your wit is as sharp as your beauty. Don't you want just a little flirting? Just a sample? I'm not like all the others, you know.
I don't doubt it. By not like all the others, do you mean how serious you are about being disingenuous when you flirt?
And that is supposed to mean what exactly?
Your social standing isn't bad, and you're not bad to look at or particularly dumb. You could easily be engaged by now. But you just flit from one woman to the next without settling on anyone. I bet you enjoy going out with them, but you hate women themselves. Don't you think?
Me? Hate women? That couldn't be further from the truth. I'm always serious when it comes to matters of the heart. When I flirt, I stake my life on it.
Uh-huh. I'll believe it when I see it. Staking your life on a person is the sort of thing you should only do when you're in love.
That's what I've been saying. I love you enough to stake my life on it. And I'm seriously in love with each and every girl I flirt with.
I see. Regardless, I'm not staking my life on you. So you'd better go and fall in love with someone else. Goodbye, Sylvain.
She's stone cold. I love it. Ah, Dorothea. What are you doing here?
I was actually waiting to see you.
Were you going to invite me out to dinner? I accept.
Yes, I was. I don't think it would be so bad to share a meal with you from time to time.
How about tonight? I'm busy tomorrow.
That's fine by me. What are you busy with, I wonder? Girls? And more girls?
Isn't it an unwritten rule not to ask about such things? But what a curious turn of events. Have you perhaps got an ulterior motive?
No ulterior motives. If you're worried, we can just pretend this conversation never happened.
No, wait! That's not what I meant. I just don't understand why you want my company now, when you've always been so cold to me. Have you perhaps fallen in love with me?
My stomach just got queasy. You know what? Maybe I'll eat on my own after all.
Fine, I get it. You want someone to chase your loneliness away.
Something like that, yes. If you don't want to, I'll ask someone else.
Don't dream of it. It would be my pleasure, milady. And to be clear, the reason you chose to spend time with me is my family, yes? Or is it my crest? Both? I'm just curious about such things. Say I was a commoner. Would you still have invited me to dinner?
Is this really necessary for a simple dinner invitation? Actually, I have a question of my own. Say I was a hoarse-voiced old hag. Would you still be flirting with me? Would you still want to hold my hand and whisper sweet nothings?
That's a difficult question. I have nothing against mature women, but...
Even if you were an old man, I still would have invited you out. If you were a former noble exiled from his family or an orphan from the streets, my heart cares not. Just kidding. I just wanted to try saying it. Of course it's better that you have money.
You little... Yeah, that's probably true. So, Dorothea, about that dinner?
It would be an honor to have you join me tonight. And let's not talk about things like this over dinner, okay?
Even if I was an old man or an orphan, huh? Why am I so unlucky with women lately?
Oh, Sylvain, what's that face for? Have you been dumped again?
Isn't there an unwritten rule you shouldn't ask someone that?
I'm sorry. I thought you didn't mind being dumped. So your love life can get you down sometimes after all. Who knew?
I'm sad every time I break up with someone. It's just, I usually try to be the one doing the breaking up. I've never had a hard time with girls. Ever. Not until recently. But now when I think about it, I wonder what any of them even liked about me. It's not as if any of them knew much about me. I don't get it.
Isn't that what a relationship is for? Learning about someone else? You can't know it all right at the start.
I asked you before if you would have invited me out if I was a peasant.
You did ask me that, yes.
That was wrong of me to say. It's not an excuse, but I'm always so suspicious. I'm a nobleman with a crest. The marriage proposals don't stop coming. Everybody wants me, except They don't actually want me at all. They want my bloodline. Within my family and without. It's always the same story. Sometimes I think that if I didn't have a crest, no one would look at me twice.
I see. And you're probably not wrong. Honestly, I've had those same sort of thoughts myself.
Oh? What sort of thoughts might those be?
I sang, people cheered and applauded, and when I walked off stage, I'd find the same thing every night. A mountain of presents and marriage proposals. But none of those people knew me. All they knew was the singer they saw on the stage. All they wanted was my looks and my voice. None of them even tried to get to know the real me.
I'm pretty sure I've heard this somewhere.
We may come from different places, but we're much the same, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I suppose we are. Look, Dorothea, I've realized something. Even if you were an old grandma, I'd still flirt with you. And I'd absolutely win you over. Though, I'd much rather win you over now and be with you until you become an old grandma.
That might be the most legitimately romantic thing you've ever said, Sylvain. And I can't say I disagree. I'd rather you win me over now, too, so that I can stay by your side until you're an old grandpa.
Well, before any of that, will you go to dinner with me?
I'd be happy to. Ingrid, do you have a moment? We're going to perform an opera in the cathedral.
We are?
Yes, it's a small one, but I need some volunteers. Let me tell you, Alois is very excited. He's already doing a ton of work for the show.
I see. What's it about?
Classic opera fare. A tragic love story, a princess who falls in love with a handsome commoner. But our princess, she carries the fate of her country on her shoulders. And no matter how in love she is, she can't just marry whoever she wants. Or can she?
That's quite a story. Sounds tragic and beautiful. Who will be playing the princess?
Me. I was a singer in an opera company, though I hope I'm not being too presumptuous casting myself. Even if you're not interested in being part of the production, you will come to see it, won't you? I'm asking everyone to dress up properly. I want it to be a stylish and elegant night.
That does sound quite lovely. And I do want to go, but
Please, don't worry if you can't make it. I understand we're doing this on such short notice.
No, it's not that. I struggle with the elegant part of things. I don't really do myself up in elegant clothing and makeup and such.
If fashion's your concern, lady, you're in luck.
I am?
If you don't dress for the occasion, no one will take you seriously. But don't worry about a thing. I'll happily work my magic on you. When it's time, I'll meet you in your room. We'll make you the most beautiful woman in the theater.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Why are you sighing at me like that? Is my face really so hopeless?
Ingrid, I'm trying to think of something polite to say right now. It's as if you have no experience dressing elegantly. At all.
I mean, I don't. Dorothea, I appreciate you taking the time, but yes, we're in the middle of a war. It hasn't been my top priority.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be so hard on you. I was just surprised, is all. A gal like you're a beautiful young noblewoman who somehow has no experience with either makeup or fashion. This is basic stuff, Ingrid. The basics of the basics, really. But it's like you've never even tried.
I was just never interested before. Even as a child, it never appealed to me. Fussy, pretty things always felt unnecessary. And gussing myself up to attract someone has never played an important part in my pursuits as a knight. But you've piqued my interest in all this.
How?
It's not like I'd be dressing myself up just to attract someone. I'd be dressing up for the occasion, specifically. Even if I don't dress up any other time, a special occasion such as this is a good reason to try it out.
Well, yeah, that's why we dress up when we go out. You might meet someone and you want to look your best, don't you? Get their attention, lure them in.
That's the exact opposite of what I just said. You said previously that dressing up for the occasion is reason enough.
Oh, I just said that so you wouldn't run off screaming.
I see.
My real point is that you're quite lovely even before getting all fixed up. Absolutely bewitching, in fact. So when I'm finished with you, well, someone looking at you could be forgiven for wanting to pounce.
Could they be? I don't know that I'd forgive them.
Oh, I know. That's why just before I lunge, I'm gonna ask permission.
Permission is not granted. Ever. Just back off.
Ah, Dorothea, your beauty puts even the most pristine flower to shame.
Ah, Lawrence, as silver-tongued as ever.
Oh, not at all. I must bid you good day.
I see the rumors are true. What a shame.
Rumors? About me? Whatever do you mean?
Why, that you're always ready to flirt. Unless she's a commoner. Then you'll bid her good day as quickly as possible. Like you did with me just now. Are we so unpleasant to speak to, us commoners?
That is a rather pointed question, but I do happen to have an answer for you. As the heir to House Gloucester, I am in search of a bride of suitable social status. I seek to build upon the honor of my house, and to do that, I require a noble wife.
I'd think you could find plenty of suitable women, even among the masses.
Do not be so certain. A lady who marries me must be prepared to enter noble society, whether she wishes to or not. It is a complex web of etiquette and expectation, not a world one could easily step into without the proper upbringing. What's more, House Gloucester would hardly see much benefit were I to join myself to the household of a commoner.
Oh, I can imagine. Well, I suppose that means any friendship between you and I is doomed as well.
Isn't that a rather excessive conclusion?
You want someone to birth your house's next generation. I want someone to share my life with. I'm not even an option in your eyes, and you're hardly viable in mine. However, we're all friends here, aren't we? So I suppose politeness at the very least is in order.
Looking as lovely as ever today, Dorothea.
Oh, save it for your noble girls, Lawrence. I'm not in the mood.
I was only being polite.
And it really was quite wonderful to be so near your elegance. Now, if you'll please excuse me.
Now hold just a moment. I have tolerated quite enough of this impertinence. Not a word has escaped my lips to imply that you are anything less than a highly attractive woman. But I am the heir to a noble house. I have a duty. Thus, I am unable to engage in courtship with you. What is it about my circumstances that you seem to find so very amusing?
All of it? You're no different from the men who flirted with me when I was in the opera. As long as you're getting what you're after, you don't much care what a woman wants, needs, or feels.
That is truly what you think of me? I am afraid you have completely misunderstood.
Oh, have I? Do explain.
If noble status were my only priority, then I could be married 100 times over by now. But birthright is not sufficient for me. I am not looking merely for an accessory. Marriage is a relationship of mutual respect, support, and trust. If my wife and I are of the same mind and of the same worth, then together we can achieve anything. That is why I make overtures to so many ladies. I am in search of an ideal.
You're searching for someone who matches your vision of a perfect spouse? How odd. So am I. And everyone else.
My standards are somewhat more exacting, but yes, I suppose on that point we are similar. Please understand that I'm acting with the best of intentions in search of a partner.
You're more serious than I thought.
so earnest, it's almost adorable.
If you met a peasant girl and fell madly in love, would you be able to give her up? Break her heart?
I would have no choice. The worlds of the nobility and the common folk are simply too far apart. I cannot choose to abandon my duty merely for the sake of a fleeting emotion.
Lawrence, you're dangerously close to dedicating your life to the lie that nobility is something special. I hope you realize that before it's too late. Too much fighting. I need a moment's peace.
Why, if it isn't Dorothea?
What are you doing here?
Patrolling the grounds. There have been entirely too many raids as of late. And yourself?
Nothing. Not really. I just needed a bit of quiet.
It is regrettable to see you so troubled by this war. This is not a burden any commoner should bear.
Don't trouble yourself on my account. So, did you ever find that wife you were looking for?
This is hardly the time or place for me to be searching for a bride. Why do you ask?
The truth is, I know this is sudden, but there's a war on, and who knows what tomorrow brings, right?
Go on.
I've always been quite fond of you. But I've also, well, I've given up on you.
That is sudden? But why would you give up on me?
You're from a noble family, and I'm a commoner. It would have been scandalous. I did what I could to be worthy of you, but you never noticed. So, I've resigned myself to a lonesome life, my feelings unrequited.
You found it so easy to give up on me? Truly? This war has changed my mind on a great many things, you know. I've given it all a lot of thought.
I like seeing you flustered, you know that? It makes joking with you so much more fun.
Joking?
Yes, joking. It used to be my job to pluck at people's heartstrings, remember? And I'm much better at it than you are. Admit it, Sir Lawrence.
I concede defeat, but your words have cut straight through to my heart. And now I must tell you how I feel. I've always been charmed by you. I do not think I realized just how thoroughly until this moment.
You and I both know that doesn't matter. Not really. We can never get married.
Perhaps not now. I've not determined where I stand when it comes to marriage. But when this war is over, I will make a decision.
You will, huh? Gosh, I sure do hope I'm not already married by then.
Oh, that's hardly a concern. No one you find could possibly compare to me.
Time to relax.
Professor Hanneman, do you have a moment to talk?
Of course, Miss Dorothea. Whatever is on your mind.
I heard you were once a member of the nobility, and you surrendered your title to come here.
Indeed, I was a noble once. Why are you so curious about that?
I knew there was something noble about your speech and your perfect manners. You're always impeccably dressed, too, and you have a certain pride about you. What interests me is that you threw it all away. Why?
I threw nothing away, child. In fact, by stepping away from its trappings, in my heart I feel closer than ever to the true meaning of nobility.
How so?
Consider this. At its inception, the concept of nobility assumed that the greatest among the populace would rise to power. In my mind, I believe that means those who value knowledge, those who strive for more and wish to protect and guide their fellow man. However, in practice, nobility often serves to keep those deemed commoners down, segregated from those who, by chance, were born to a noble family. That is one of the reasons I decided to leave that nonsense behind and dedicate myself to the study of crests. Though I have abandoned my position, in my mind it was to pursue what I consider to be a truly noble pursuit, that of knowledge.
I see. Well, you're definitely a noble in that sense of the word. To pursue such admirable ideas without regard for your social position. How wonderful.
Pardon?
Oh, it's nothing. I was just very moved by your words.
Ah, well, I'm quite pleased to hear you say so.
Professor Hanneman, how unexpected.
Hello, Miss Dorothea. There is something I would like to ask you, should you have a moment.
And whatever would that be, Professor?
Ah, it's just some rumor I heard about your prejudice against the nobility. You remember when you came to me before and we talked about how I used to be noble? I was just wondering what your aim was.
To clarify, I only hate nobles who are obsessed with their status. You're not that kind of man, Professor. I mean that, really. And it sounds like you never were.
I see. But hating nobles obsessed with their status, you must have had some terrible experience in the past. Ah, my apologies. That was rather presumptuous.
No, it's fine. As I'm sure you know, I was a highly praised songstress for a time. Before I was a singer, though, I was an orphan. And before that, I was the daughter of a noble's maid.
My goodness! From an orphan to a renowned songstress. That is quite a life you have led, Miss Dorothea.
Well, I don't remember much of my early years. My father was never there, and my mother was driven out of the noble house where she worked. Before long, she fell ill. I was always alone, and I lived in the alleys of the imperial capital, just trying to survive from one day to the next.
I see.
Eventually, after I became a singer, I met the nobleman that I think is my father.
Oh.
He'd had a child with a maid, but the child didn't have a crest. So he threw them both away. Those were his very words. I can't prove that he really was my father, but I suppose it doesn't matter. He didn't know who I was. And when he flirted with me, my feelings were something beyond fury. I was dumbfounded. In truth, I felt that way about all of the nobles who flocked around me, yet would just as easily have tossed me away should it better suit them.
You have my most heartfelt of apologies, Dorothea. I am afraid my curiosity has opened old wounds. Sadly, it is undeniable that the nobility is full of such terrible people. Perhaps even myself.
Professor?
Oh, it is nothing. Just lost in a memory of my own. Just know that I will do my part to ensure that you always know kindness in this world.
Thank you.
Dorothea, my dear, you must be tired from the extended fighting. May I get you anything?
Thank you, Professor Hanneman, but I'm fine.
You don't appear fine. Make sure not to overexert yourself. The war is not yours alone to fight. You have friends to rely on. We are here for you, always.
Thank you, but I really am fine. It's nice to know you're always thinking of me, though.
Well, of course. You're like a...
Like a what?
Nothing. You're a very good friend. That's all. And once the war is over, I want to be sure you have a pleasant life.
Is that so? It sounds like you're getting a little ahead of yourself, planning for the end of the war.
Ahead of myself? No, I don't think so.
Oh? You sounded like you were building up the courage to give me something. Something, small and round and ring-shaped?
Uh-huh. A ring, you mean? Well,
Oh, no. Am I wrong? I'm so embarrassed. I misunderstood.
Oh my! That's what you were thinking. I've misled you. I see now I phrased things all wrong. I had no other intentions, I swear. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
I could forgive you if you proposed properly. You got me excited, you know?
But I haven't.
It's okay. I'm just teasing. Don't look so scared.
Teasing? Ah, well, of course.
It's nice just to know you care about me. Maybe we should talk more about the future in the future. How's that sound?
Why, it sounds lovely. Quite lovely.
Professor Manuela, it's been far too long since we've had a proper chat. Let's fix that right now.
Too true, Dorothea. We hardly have a moment to spare here. But it's so nice to see you flourishing. It certainly brings back memories. You know, somehow you've gotten even prettier. The years have been kind to you.
That's something like a rose telling a daisy it's pretty, but I appreciate the compliment all the same.
Oh, honey, if that's the case, I hope you'll work hard to never become a rose like me. Too many thorns.
Oh, stop it. You've accomplished a great deal. You should be proud.
That's a very nice sentiment, and I appreciate it. Thank you. So, I've been very curious. How did you end up enrolled at the academy anyway? I know you didn't have any family connections. How'd you do it?
Well, it did require pulling some noble strings. But learning everything to pass the entrance exams, that was all me, and very hard. Especially while I was still singing for the opera. But I wanted the academy more than anything else.
Well, bravo, and well done. You've always had to find your own way in life, haven't you? I so wish you could rely on people more often. Still, though, you haven't said why you worked so hard to get into Garreg Mach to begin with.
Isn't it obvious? Because you were here. When you retired, it broke my heart. But it also woke me up. Seeing someone like you who shined so brightly on the stage, give it all up and start a brand new life. It got me thinking about my own future and what I wanted it to look like. As ever, I followed your lead.
Oh my. I don't know what to say.
I had also heard that the heirs to the Alliance, Empire, and the Kingdom were all enrolling as well. With such an exceptional crop of potential spouses, how could I go anywhere else?
And have you gotten what you were after? Your dreams, a future, and a good partner?
I'm sure I'll find my somebody someday, but I haven't found them yet. It's so nice to spend time with you again, Manuela. It's been too long.
My head is pounding. You'd think I'd get used to this. Oh.
Manuela? Oh my goodness, you look terrible. Don't get up, I'll get you some water. I should fluff up those pillows for you. It will make you more comfortable.
I'm completely hopeless. I was so proud of being the reason you came to Garreg Mach. Dorothea wanted to follow in my footsteps. How great is that? I thought I'd use that as an inspiration to straighten myself out. Be less of a you know, less of a disgrace. But here I am, right in front of you, dealing with the worst hangover I've had in weeks.
You thought you'd hide this from me?
Wait, you mean you knew?
Even when you were still with the opera company, you had quite the reputation. There was a joke that you could outdrink a fish and the sailor who caught it.
Dorothea, my brain's pounding as it is. Please, stop. It's all true. But I can't handle hearing it from you, the girl I thought I had inspired to greatness. I can't believe I tried so hard to be a good example for you when you knew all along. I should leap into the ocean and drown.
Don't say that. You've not lost a bit of respect from me, not one bit. Everyone has their faults, and some have more than others, but you are the finest songstress the opera had ever seen. And you've taught me well. What I mean to say is, you're my inspiration. I really do admire you.
Thank you, Dorothea. That means a lot. Dorothea, you look as if something's terribly wrong.
I do? Oh, nothing's wrong. Not really. I've just been thinking about the future. And what happens when the war is over.
And tell me, what is your vision of the future like?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. I guess I don't know what to expect. In my life, I've met all sorts of people who've lived lots of different ways. So now I'm trying to figure out how I want to live. I'm free, unlike so many people. I have the ability to take control of my own fate. Like you.
Well, I quit the opera to join the Officers' Academy as a professor. Then I joined this war because, well, I don't know. I'm hoping for an end to it. Peace for the world. Even though I took control of my own fate, I still haven't found the man of my dreams.
You'll find him. He's out there somewhere. You know, there is one thing I want for the future.
So, you've got a dream after all.
Well, it's a dream I've always had. You'll think this is silly, but I'd like to stand beside you.
I don't get it.
When you left the opera company, I took your place. I stood center stage and sang, and everyone cheered for me. I wish the cheers were for me and you. I wish we stood on that stage together.
I have to tell you something. The first time I saw you on stage, I felt you were the one I wanted to hear sing. I already had plans to leave the opera company, but when I met you, I knew I couldn't leave until I saw you take your rightful place. You're right, though. It would have been nice to stand beside you on stage, even just once.
Maybe we weren't together then, but we're together here, now. And in the future, maybe it won't be so bad if you never find that man of your dreams.
What do you mean by that?
You and me. I won't find a guy either. We can just be together. I think that'd be pretty nice, don't you? Living together and doing whatever we want.
Huh. You know, that could be nice. It'd be like you and me, finally together on stage. The lights shining down, our gowns and jewels sparkling. Just us.
Sparkling in the stage lights forever. Well, I had fun today. Of course, you want to see me again, yes?
Of course. I'd love to, Dorothea.
Well, until we meet again. Oh, hello, Professor. Were you watching that?
You look like you have something to say, Professor. Look, I know what I'm doing. My claim as a diva won't last forever, after all. I must look to the future. As a man, you may not feel so rushed about these things, but I know my beauty will eventually fade. You? Really? I never would have guessed. Anyway, I'm not just playing games with these boys. This is for my future. You have no right to object. I very much want to find a good partner here at the Academy. Someone who will take care of me for the rest of my life. I'm glad you understand. Not everyone appreciates the necessity of taking the initiative while you're still in your prime. Or are you just saying that? Anyway, I value your opinion, Professor, but I won't have you interfering with my life plans. Unless you'd like to take care of me into my old age. That'd be something, eh? How about it, Professor? I wasn't... You aren't being serious, are you? I was just teasing. Or did you really just consider spending your whole life with me? If you did, that actually makes me... It makes me happy. I had no idea you might look at me that way. You've gotten awfully quiet. You might even be blushing a bit. Have I embarrassed you? If so, I'm very, very sorry. I should be going anyway. I'll see you later, Professor. Professor, Oh, don't worry. It's nothing. Actually, could we talk for a bit? Somewhere a little more private? I'm just gonna come right out and say it. I find you a little difficult to be around. I know. I'm your student and you're just trying to watch out for me. But the way you look at me sometimes, it's like you're seeing right through me. No, don't apologize. I know you don't mean anything bad by it, and I'm just self-conscious, I guess. The thing is, I don't have anything to call my own. No land, no birthright, no fortune. Little knowledge or battle skill. I think that's why I always clung to my popularity as a diva. Even after leaving the stage behind, I sort of kept up the act. When I look at you, it's like your eyes are accusing me, telling me that you see right through it. That's what I mean when I say it's difficult being around you. Hey, this might be nuts, but maybe you could show me some kind of weakness of yours? You know my biggest fear. If I know one of yours, maybe I'll feel less, I don't know, vulnerable. Excellent. Well then, don't mind me. You know, Professor, I never hear any gossip about you. Of a romantic nature, I mean. Would I be right in assuming you're not very experienced with romance? Maybe we should find out somehow. Professor? What's with you? Why aren't you reacting to anything I'm doing? Oh, come on. Is your heart even beating? You're making me lose my confidence. That's all right. I didn't really think a little tease like that would be enough to get to you anyway. Though it does still make me lose just a little confidence in my own charms. This may seem a bit sudden, but I want to thank you, Professor. That is, for letting me live my life the way I want. I've noticed you've been giving me fewer of those soul-revealing gazes lately. I appreciate you making an effort to not trouble yourself over who I spend my time with. Well, of course. Did you think I wouldn't notice? It's kind of sweet in its own way. Professor, may I tell you a story about when I was younger? I was an orphan, living in the back alleys of Enbar, until one day I was overheard singing. That was when my new life began. I was suddenly a songstress in the Mittelfranc Opera Company. Performers, nobility. I met so many people. But none of them ever really knew me. I was just some young, pretty girl who could sing. A spectacle to be admired. Even though everyone praised my looks and my voice and they showered me with gifts, I knew one day I'd be old. My looks would fade, my voice would change. I wouldn't sound the same. And I started to wonder, when I did get old, what would I have left? I'd be old, alone, and back on the streets of the capital, right where I'd started. That's sweet of you, even if you are just flirting. I never had much to begin with in life, and I worry that one day I'll be that way again. That's why I keep searching for someone who will love me. Someone unaware of the songstress, who can love a girl that used to be scared and alone on the streets of the capital. I wonder if such a strange person can even exist. Oh, is this where you've been? Everyone's looking for you. With the war over, I'd like to think they'd at least give you a few days' rest. Don't worry, I won't tell them you're here. It's a rare occasion for me to have you all to myself. No, I've given up on that. I realized there was no point. Besides, maybe the person I've been looking for is closer than I realized. What? Is that... That's a ring. It would be very embarrassing if I had the wrong idea, so I have to ask. Are you proposing? Here? Now? To me? I don't know what to say. Are you sure? You want to spend your life with me? Even though I'm not a songstress anymore? And I don't come from a noble family or have any wealth or land to my name? You won the war. You could pick anyone in the world. Why would you? Okay. I mean, yes, I love you madly and I'd be happy to marry you. But if we're going to be married, I had better think up a cute nickname for you. Don't you think? Oh, I wonder what I should call you now. Darling, my beloved. So many options. I starred in so many operas where I captured the heart of my beloved, but I never dreamed that it would feel this wonderful when it actually happened. A life singing for you in a peaceful world. I imagine that life will be more wonderful than I ever could have hoped. I love you. I could never sing anything as pure as those 3 little words.